good afternoon and many thanks for joining us at this time. This is News Analysis live on Politics and Business TV. The top stories. Federal government says the security agencies will go after individuals with fake university certificates in the country. Dangote's 650,000 oil refinery commences supply of petroleum products to local markets. International Monetary Fund (IMF) recommends legislative oversight, administrative or judicial remedies as safeguard mechanisms to address record global public debt. Details coming up shortly. Thank you so much for staying tuned. I am Omoife Semere. Now, President of the Senate, Senator Godswill Akpabio, has charged his Muslim colleagues and other Nigerians not to allow religion divide them. Akpabio gave the charge on Monday evening during Iftar, which is the breaking of fast, with his Muslim colleagues in Abuja. The Senate President had, at the occasion, which was also attended by some Christian senators, stressed that it was not a mere coincidence that the Christian Lent and Muslim Ramadan periods came up at the same time this year. According to him, it was to show that even though Muslims and Christians have different religions, they both have only one God. To other matters, where the Minister of Education, Professor Tahir Mamman, has said security agencies will go after individuals with fake university certificates in the country. Mamman said the individuals will be tracked after the committee set up by the federal government to investigate the activities of university certificate racketeering in the country submit its report. It would be recalled that the federal government had set up an interministerial investigative committee on degree certificate milling to probe the activities of certificate racketeers following an investigative report by Nigerian journalist Omar Audu, which exposed the activities of degree mills in Benin Republic. Audu's investigative report, which exposed the illegalities perpetrated by some tertiary institutions in the West African countries, led to the Nigerian government placing a ban on the accreditation and evaluation of degrees from Benin Republic and Togo. The committee set up by the federal government was also tasked with investigating Nigerian private universities established in the last 15 years. The federal government and the International Criminal Police Organization have commenced the process of extraditing a Binance chief, Nadeem Anjarwalla, who escaped from detention and left the country using a Kenyan passport on March 22nd. According to reports, security agencies had in February arrested Anjarwalla and Tigran Gambarian, two executives of the cryptocurrency firm Binance Holding Limited, over alleged money laundering. Among other charges, the firm and two executives were arraigned for $35.4 million money laundering at the Federal High Court, Abuja. However, it was confirmed by top government sources yesterday that the process of extraditing the fugitive had begun. The sources noted that Anjarwalla's absence would not affect the arraignment of Binance and Tigran Gambarian in court on Thursday over a 5-count money laundering charge. And now to other matters, where former president of the Nigeria Labour Congress, Ali Chiroma, has died. According to a statement by the secretary of the Borno State Council, Nigerian Union of Journalists, Ali Ibrahim Chiroma, Chiroma passed away at the University of Maiduguri Teaching Hospital, Maiduguri, Borno State capital, yesterday. According to a media report, Chiroma served as the president of the NLC from 1984 to 1988 until he was ousted by the military administration of General Ibrahim Babangida, which disbanded the union. He was, however, reinstated during the Abacha regime into the realm of unionism, being appointed as the sole administrator of the Nigeria Union of Petroleum and Natural Gas Workers. The burial for the repose of the deceased is billed for 4 p.m. today. May his soul rest in peace. Amen. Right, you're watching News Analysis live on Politics and Business TV. Still to come, United Nations Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs says it is time to join forces with NEMA to provide solutions to humanitarian issues as major donors who provide funds for humanitarian assistance are cutting down on their funds. We'll bring you details of this and other stories in a moment. Do join us again. Welcome back. This is News Analysis live on Politics and Business TV. Dangote's 650,000 oil refinery yesterday commenced the supply of petroleum products to the local market. According to media reports, the refinery, which is considered Africa's largest, will save Nigeria the much needed foreign exchange FX that would have been expended on important fields, as well as earn the country some hard currency from the supply of products to foreign markets. It was gathered that the product was sold directly to some marketers at 1,200 naira per litre, while the pump price of diesel as at yesterday was 1,500 naira per litre at the filling stations. However, the National Vice President, Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, IPMAN, Alhaji Abubakar Mengadi, said the approved distributors were yet to be notified of the price of the product. Now, the International Monetary Fund, IMF, has stressed the need to address record global public debt. The IMF, in its latest report, stressed that hidden debt is borrowing for which a government is liable, but which is not disclosed to its citizens or to other creditors. It stated that while this debt is often kept off the official government balance sheet, it is very real, reaching $1 trillion globally by some estimates. According to the report, while these undisclosed obligations are not large when compared to global public debt topping $91 trillion, they pose a growing threat to low-income countries already highly in debt with annual refinancing needs that have tripled in recent years. The report further recommends that legislative oversight and other safeguard mechanisms, such as administrative or judicial remedies, be spelled out in the applicable legal provisions. The United Nations Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs, UNOCHA, has lamented that major donors who provide funds for humanitarian assistance are cutting down on their funds. The head of the office in Nigeria, Tron Jensen, stated this yesterday when he visited the Director General of the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, Zubeida Umar. He said the development indicated it was time for both agencies to put efforts together as well as work smarter in providing solutions to humanitarian issues. He disclosed that this year, UNOCHA was looking for 20% less funds to meet the needs of almost 300 million people globally, noting that due to such challenges, there was the need to be in partnership with NEMA and draw strength from each other to solve humanitarian issues. Jensen noted various humanitarian issues to include increased temperatures and irregular weather patterns, further stressing the need to find ways to prevent and mitigate natural disasters. Now, after months of silence on political activities at a state and even a national level, and also losing out of the ministerial appointment, a former governor of Kaduna State, Nasir El-Rufai, seems to be making a comeback, but this time with controversies. First, from recent meetings with leaders of the Social Democratic Party, SDP, which fueled speculations that the former governor is planning to dump the APC, to Nasir El-Rufai reportedly paying a visit to ex-military head of state Yakubu Gowon at his residence in Abuja on Tuesday last week. While the visit is amid speculations of dumping the APC, it would be recalled that the National Secretary of the Social Democratic Party, Dr. Olu Agunloye, had earlier dismissed these speculations and maintained that the visit of former Kaduna State Governor Nasir El-Rufai to the Abuja National Secretariat of the party was not political. In another development, there are fears that a Cold War exists between Nasir El-Rufai and his successor, Governor Uba Sani of Kaduna State. This is against the backdrop of an alarm raised by Governor Sani in his presentation at a town hall meeting in the Northwest State over the debt burden he inherited from the last administration, which he put at $587 million, 85 billion naira, and 115 contractual liabilities. Sani, however, said the situation had not stopped his administration from meeting its contractual obligations. Now, displeased by this revelation, son of former Kaduna State Governor Bashir El-Rufai reportedly attacked the governor, Sani Uba, via a tweet on X, formerly Twitter, saying that the governor was only trying to cover his administration's incompetence. While these events have elicited views and counter views, a public affairs analyst and also a politician will be joining me in a moment to analyze the carry-on of these political figures and what it portends for the state and the All Progressives Congress as a political party. Do join us again. Welcome back from that break. Thank you so much for staying tuned. This is News Analysis live on Politics and Business TV. I'm being joined now by a politician and, of course, a public affairs analyst who I understand is also a farmer, but I hope he's not a political farmer. Alhaji Usman Yahya. He joins us live via telephone this beautiful house. I'm very well, thank you. I understand that you represent a number of things, from being a politician to being an analyst and also a farmer. I mean, on a lighter note, I hope you're not a political farmer.
There are many political farmers. At least our mentor and our father, Uba Sani, is a political and military farmer at the same time.
All right.
So we can as well be political farmers at the same time.
All right, thank you so much for joining us. I mean, despite the short notice. I don't know if you've been keeping tabs on the latest happenings in Kaduna State. I mean, over the weekend, the governor, Uba Sani, made, a very, very a deep revelation with regards to, the debt he inherited from, Governor Nasir El-Rufai. But, this actually has been raising a lot of questions and perhaps dust. I mean, a number of people have been asking that what exactly is going on here. If Kaduna State has such a huge debt profile, then does it mean that at the time when the former governor Nasir El-Rufai was governor, does it mean all he was doing was just to score some cheap political points? I mean, that is just one question out of many questions that Nigerians are trying to get answers to at this point in time. But let's start a conversation by getting your point, your viewpoint with regards to the recent visits that the former governor had embarked on recently. What are your thoughts?
Well, first and foremost, I really want to state the obvious, which is normally when politicians come in and they have problems in performance, the next thing to do is to try and put the blame on the former administration that left before them.
Okay.
The governor of Kaduna State was a senator of the Federal Republic of Kaduna State, and it was through the Senate that approval was given for El-Rufai to obtain loans for the projects that he wanted to undertake in Kaduna State. And Uba Sani was among the people at the forefront, in as much as his other colleague was against collection of that loan. The other comrade, Senator Sani from Kaduna State.
Shehu Sani, you mean? Yes, right.
So it was the same Uba Sani that spearheaded the collection of the loan. And this one was given with the full knowledge of Uba Sani. And Uba Sani knew the projects that these loans were meant for. And he knew the repayment method of that loan before approval was given. That was when El-Rufai went and collected that loan. So when you win elections, before you are sworn in, you have to sit down and hand over from one administrator to the other. And at that time, the liabilities and assets of that place will be shown to everybody. And I'm sure Uba Sani was fully aware of the debt situation of Kaduna State when he collected the reins of power from Nasir El-Rufai. So, having said that, I think it is just mischievous for the governor to come out now, almost 8 months into the administration, to start saying this is the level of indebtedness. In most cases, people speak of the indebtedness as of the time they were taken over from the previous administration, from the outgoing administration. And loans are collected for specified projects. And those projects, everybody knows that El-Rufai performed those projects in Kaduna. I'm not standing for El-Rufai, but I know that the loans were collected for a reason. And that reason was to make some roads and other infrastructure in Kaduna State. Uba Sani can now check this loan that was collected, was it used for the purpose for which it was meant for? If it was not used, then there is need for him to investigate and see where the money went.
All right.
Come to the public and start saying, I am servicing loan. Of course, there is no administration that came in without servicing loans. That one I'm sure.
Well, indeed, a number of analysts have, they've also come out to say that as at when those loans, were obtained, I mean, the exchange rate at the time is completely different from what is obtainable at the moment. However, do you not think that the governor, Uba Sani, should be given a pat on the back? I mean, it's been over 8 months since he assumed office and is not actually, requested or sought, any form of loan to run, the affairs of the state. And perhaps, do you not also think that, making this revelation was not born out of mischief, but also to let the people of Kaduna State know, exactly what is going on when it comes to finances?
Okay, the reality is, it is the same governor that is saying he has not collected loan. It's not another governor now that has taken over from you that will confirm. And mind you, some of these loans were internal, not even external loans. These are contractors that worked. And there is no government that will not leave office without pending liabilities on their head. So to me, what Uba Sani should have done is, first of all, to set his house in order and check what is happening. Why can't I deliver A, B, C, and D? And if you are delivering without having any problems, why must you come out and tell people that I'm highly indebted when you are instrumental to that loan that was collected initially? El-Rufai collected loan, used the loan for projects, and all these loans were tied, and the payment periods were specified clearly. And Uba Sani, I'm sure, is not a novice in accountancy. He even knows accountancy maybe more than Nasir El-Rufai.
But let me ask you, let me ask you this. Sorry to jump in, but is it true that Nasir El-Rufai and the sitting governor Uba Sani are loggerheads?
Well, even if they are not at loggerheads, I think one is complaining against the other, directly or indirectly. So what we know, the reality is, they may not be having this thing, they may not be fighting this thing, but they may not be in very good terms at the same time.
Yes, please, yes.
So very good terms, but the truth of the matter is, there is something normally, if one is not patient and one is not taking his mind far, from incumbent to the one who has the overpower to you, there is that tendency that you may see him trying to overburden, or you want to achieve what he has achieved, and people are saying you are not performing, you say, no, he performed because he collected loan. Do you understand what I'm saying? Right. So,
in a yes.
So I cannot perform.
Right.
The reality is, you are a government.
Okay, so now in
of Kaduna State ABC, if you know that you cannot resign, let somebody take over. But if you know that you can do it, go ahead, do it.
But let me ask you this. Let me ask you this question. I'm sorry to bother you again.
You will see the difference. You will see that Kaduna has been given a new legislation. But let me tell you something. The reality is we are now starting the politics of 2027.
Well, that speaks volumes.
Might have an ambition which others want to fight. El-Rufai is having a political ambition which others want to scuttle. And you can see that in the last few weeks, El-Rufai has started making some moves. Since after the inauguration of this government, he went quiet. But of recent, he started making some moves, making some visits to areas that people felt he shouldn't.
Let me jump in real quick, Alhaji Usman. The moves that Nasir El-Rufai have been making, in recent times, those moves, they point out to the fact that he would be leaving the APC soon. We just have to digress.
He might. He said Nigeria is free to go to wherever he wants to go. He might leave the APC. If the APC has not done anything to him, he has every right to go to where he can be taken serious.
Okay.
If they don't want to make use of you. Every Nigerian today knows that El-Rufai is a talented politician.
Okay, now let's.
So if they don't want to make use of him and he find areas that he can put his talent into use, so be it.
Now let's come back to the issues on ground. You in a yes or no response, was it out of place for Governor Uba Sani to have come out to make this revelation? In a yes or no response, was it out of place?
It's not out of place. He's in a democratic system that he has the freedom to say what he wants, and as the chief executive of Kaduna State, he should explain to the people why he's not performing. And he thought he has given his own side that this is why I'm not performing. It's left for the people now to judge and gauge and see whether what he says is true or false. Whether at the time of Nasru, the loan that Nasru collected were utilized for the purpose for which they were collected or not.
Another question, Alhaji Usman.
Yes.
What do you make of the reaction of Bashir El-Rufai, the son of Nasir El-Rufai, where he took to Twitter, now X, to lambast the governor, and according to him, the governor was only trying to cover his administration's incompetence. Is Governor Uba Sani incompetent?
Let me tell you something. You see, we have a proverb in Hausa which says the antelope cannot be hopping and then this child will start crawling. So Bashir is his father's son. Everybody knows that El-Rufai doesn't miss words if he wants to speak. He says his mind and does what he wants the way he wants to do it. So Bashir is an elected representative of the people of Kaduna State. He's a member in the National Assembly of Nigeria. So what am I saying? Somebody went to a forum and said that Bashir's father did not perform the way he should have performed. He collected money and used it for otherwise. And Bashir was part of this. He was a very close associate of Uba Sani. Uba Sani was the senator. So they knew themselves very well. He said, if you can go to this left that week, I can as well give you a good reply. And what Bashir said, was there anything wrong with it? He said, look, you are an Abuja politician. As a governor elected to serve the Kaduna people, how many kilometers from here to Kaduna? Stay and do work and get aids that can add value to you and your people. Get people that can add value to the government. Not just carrying anybody around that will tell you yes sir, and you give them and you are not performing the way you are. Now that you have seen 8 months has gone and you have not done anything, you are trying to put the blame on the loan that Nasir El-Rufai collected. And that is what the boy said, and I think for the man now, because he's representing a chunk of the people of Kaduna State and he's a member of the National Assembly of Nigeria, he's one of our lawmakers. So we have to give him that. And he is also as intelligent as the father. He's just been his father's son.
But don't you think that the right thing, to do in situations like this is to, demand for, thorough investigation. That's where accountability would be upheld, as opposed to, just allowing emotions and sentiments, probably because the person accused or the person who this comment is directed to is his father. That is, some sort of sentiments, were attached. One would say.
Thank you. What I'm saying is, Bashir is a member of the House of Representatives of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Uba Sani and Bashir El-Rufai, and also Nasir El-Rufai. Everybody knew that Uba Sani got the ticket of ADC and became governor by the grace of God and the assistance of Nasir El-Rufai. So having said that, and now this man saw that somebody can say the cause of the problem of my not performing is because El-Rufai collected loan. The loan of which you were instrumental to the collection for Kaduna State.
But let me jump in again.
Sani, the other senator.
Let me.
They objected, but you went ahead and insisted.
If you let me.
That this thing was wrong.
If you let me, Alhaji Usman, so the fact that the former governor Nasir El-Rufai was instrumental to, Uba Sani becoming governor, does it mean that Uba Sani should not raise concerns when necessary? Is that what it means?
What I'm saying, I'm not standing because he was instrumental to his coming. Yes, if you are instrumental to somebody's coming, if you see any problem in the government, you're supposed to first of all contact him. And then you and him should discuss the issue before coming out to the public. That is one. Number two, you were instrumental to the collection of the loan, and this loan was collected for purpose A, B, C, D, and the repayment period is so, and so. And incidentally, it happens you came in as a governor that to replace this man, and you knew the loan and the payment terms of this loan, and you were the person who approved it. Then why must you come and meet these people and say, look, I told you, don't marry, go to school. Then later on, I'll go and meet your people and then be telling them that this girl refused to marry. I'm not being fair to you.
All right.
I'm not being fair to you. So that is what this man has done. You and El-Rufai agreed and you collected this loan. The approval came from the federal government through the National Assembly, the Senate, which Uba Sani was instrumental.
All right.
Months after, you are coming to say that this loan shouldn't have been collected. This is hypocritical.
All right, Alhaji Usman.
What I want to say is, Uba Sani should leave everything. Some people are operating in Borno State with virtually zero inside crisis. Yet they are performing. People are praising them. Uba Sani should go back to the drawing board.
Okay.
And his cabinet.
Okay.
He has the capacity. If somebody I respect, and he is somebody that I know can deliver, and you should go back and meet El-Rufai and let them stop all these dealings in public.
All right, Alhaji Usman, thank you so much for talking to us. I'm afraid we just have to leave the conversation here now because of time. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Alhaji Usman Yaya is a politician, an analyst, and also a farmer. And together we've been discussing the debt profile, the Kaduna debt profile, and as to whether or not, the state governor, Uba Sani, is incompetent, just like the son of the former governor, Bashir El-Rufai, has claimed, But we just have to leave it here. You can also, drop a comment and share your thoughts with us as to what you make of this particular development. But that's it for news analysis today. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be back at the top of the hour with the news update. I am Omo Ife Peace of Semere.